Good evening, fuckers. Welcome to this special video, which will be of a guided tour of every base that I have in this playthrough. Well, we'll cut to the chase. I have 12 of them. I also have a Viking standing right in front of me because he's being a right cunt. There we go. Yeah, I have 12 of them, but that does include my settlement, which I'm really not that fussed about, and seeing as it is a settlement and not a base, I won't be including that in the tour. Not least because I don't know my way around it. I hardly ever bother with the thing. It's long since, it's long since stopped being useful. I got it for one reason. That reason's been and gone. So yeah, leave it. Talk about invading my personal space as well as walking right through me, but yeah, we'll ignore that. So the vast majority of my bases are quite small, but I will be doing a little bit of upkeep on some of them, and if you are one of those people who reads my community tab, you may have an idea as to what that upkeep will be. But anyway, this is enough of this introductory waffle, so let's head to base number 1. So here we are, base number 1. This is the beach hut, and it's perfectly named because it quite literally is just a wooden shed with a teleport in it, the base computer, and there is a landing pad. The only reason the landing pad is there is because without it, the ships would actually constantly be right there at the bottom of the sea. So this place has but one purpose, and it is that this is where I keep the Nautilon submarine, so that I can then summon it wherever I like. I do even have, I don't know why I put the exocraft summoning station here. This is basically one small island. There's nowhere really to go. Yeah, so that's it. That is the whole thing. Yeah, really not very much here. So the beach hut purely exists so that I've got a place to keep the Nautilon on standby. And that's your lot. Okay, on to base number 2. And here we are. So this is the garage, or the garage, however you want to pronounce it. This is another extremely simple one. Not as simple as the beach hut, but yeah, we have the teleport here, we have a trade terminal here. This place actually does have some windows. The exocraft terminal, which is unmanned, he's buggered off somewhere else. Here's my base computer. Here we have a landing pad, and here we have the main reason for this base existing. With a name like the garage, I can't imagine it would have taken too many people a long time to figure out that this is what it's for. So yeah, the storage area for all of my ground exocraft. It does have something else here. It has an automated feeder, which doesn't get used very often, and an automatic harvesting livestock unit, which gets used even less often than the feeder. I think I put them all Well, yeah, they're both a bit too close to all the exocraft and my landing pad, which is why, well, actually, is one of the reasons why there are not many animals that actually come here. It also helps if you're going to place a feeder and a livestock unit, put them near to where there's like food that the animals would actually, you know, actually want and would come after. So for example, we see up there all those frost crystals on all the yeah, the frostwork. That would be a good place to keep these, because that's a food source for the various animals on here. Anyway, that is by the by. So that is, yeah, that is the whole of the garage, the garage. Very simple. It was never intended to be anything more than what we've got here. It serves its purpose, and what more does it need? There we go. So it's all very quick, and it will continue to stay quick until we get to the last two. Anyway, on to base number 3. And here we are, and this is a base layout that you're going to become very familiar with. So this is Sulphurine Gas Mine 1C. So it's on a C-class sulphurine hotspot, which is, well, it's the worst hotspot class there is. But yeah, I've had a lot of trouble finding decent sulphurine hotspots. So in the end I went with this one, because as you can see, there is this minor settlement very close by. So there's other stuff here to, or you know, you've got the option anyway of grabbing hold of some other bits and pieces. So the mine stores 15,500 sulphurine, which is not bad, but as I can imagine many of you had already figured out, the upkeep that I'm doing is I'm going to expand the storage capacity of all of the mines. So we'll add 2 more here and connect them up. There we go. So now this depot has storage capacity of 17,500. It's a decent amount. Yes, you're going to find bases that offer more, but now if 17,500 is not enough, then I can only begin to imagine the sort of scale that you're working on. But yeah, it's 2 gas extractors. Because of the diminishing returns mechanic, there's really no point adding more than 2 gas extractors, no matter what the hotspot you know, class is, especially on a fucking C class. But yeah, add yeah, put down 2 of the extractors, and then as many storage areas as you like. Say to store 17,500, you need to put down that many. I'll let you count them. I can't be arsed. Okay. Next base. And here we are. It really does not take you long at all to get to this one from the previous one, because this is Nitrogen Gas Mine 1B. It's on a B class hotspot. It's in the same system as the Sulphurine Gas Mine, which is why it doesn't take you long at all to get here. And it's exactly the same layout. So at the moment, it has 15,500 nitrogen stored. So let's increase that. There we go. Right, so 17,500 storage now for nitrogen. Once I've increased the storage, I then upload the base again, because sometimes if you make a change like this and don't upload it, you can have players coming along and they still have the old capacity. Doesn't happen often, but happening once is enough. So yeah, the nitrogen mine is a bit sort of in the middle of nowhere. I do think there's a minor settlement quite close by. That one's 555 away, but I think there's another one even closer. There you go, minor settlement 288. So you've got minor settlements pretty close by. There's another one 357. I'm not sure what each of those buildings are, but I do know another one there 214. That actually might be the one I'm thinking of. I do know there is one very close by that is an actual minor settlement. It's, you know, it's not just a waypoint marker or anything like that. You can also see plenty of opportunities of getting carbon while you are around here, and you will need carbon when you're, you know, going after any of the gases. So yeah, nitrogen gas mine 1B. That's it. On to the next one. And here we are. So this is Gold Mine 1B. And as you can see, it is on an anomalous planet. So if you're collecting glitches, you'll have your opportunity of picking them up. There's also plenty of ferrite dust, oxygen and carbon available to everybody. And even chromatic metal. So it is on a bit of a slope, as you can clearly see, but it's not the end of the world, not by any stretch. So let's get this one expanded. Okay, that should do it. Yep, there we go. So storage now 17,500. Upload this one. If I can remember where I've put the base computer. Here it is. Okay, it's all yeah, very obvious stuff at the moment. Right, on to the next. So here we are at Cobalt Mine 1B. Once again on the side of a slope. As you can clearly see, it is also on a dissonant planet. Let's get that fucker out of it. There we go. Right, let's expand this. Fuck it, this'll do. Alright. Connect these to, fuck it, this one. So, cobalt storage, yeah, that's up to 17,500. Again, plenty of carbon available nearby. That's about all there really is here. This base is a bit dull. But I mean, you're only coming here to get the cobalt that's being mined from it. So, yeah, you can't really expect anything great here. Which is a good job, because you're not getting anything great here. Right, upload that one. There you go, those changes made. And off to the next. So here we are at Salt Mine 1. Salt Mine 1B, and this is a mine that glitches, as you can see, but I have been sort of extending the supply depots so that it takes you away from the glitch. However, getting rid of the glitch is quite easy. There you go, one single burst with the terrain manipulator and it's gone, and now you can see the whole thing. It's all very familiar. So yeah, you do need to keep that in mind when you come to this one. There is a good chance it is going to be glitchy. So let's expand this one. Okay, so that should now be, yep, up to 17,500. This base also has, there it is, an automated feeder, still with plenty of pellets in there, and an automatic harvesting unit, currently nothing in there. And the reason I put these here is that there are two fauna on this planet. This is one of them here. Honey gland's empty, so it looks like someone has been unless, yeah, there they are. But that's actually quite well timed, because this sticky honey is one of the awkward nutrient ingredients to get, because there aren't a huge number of fauna that produce it. So the fact that this planet has two different fauna that do produce it means I figured, right, we'll stick one of these things here so that players can come along and grab any of that. All I ask is that if you do grab any of the livestock, yeah, any of the harvested goods from livestock and stroke or any of the salt, refilling the automated feeder, which at the moment would only take 40 creature pellets, would be appreciated. I'm not insisting that you do it, I'm just saying I would appreciate it if you did. Anyway, let's upload the improvements made here. This is actually a planet you don't want to spend a huge amount of time on. It's incredibly volcanic. This is by some distance the longest I've been on this planet's surface, and there not be a storm starting, and they are some quite hefty firestorms. So yeah, basically you want to come here, grab your 17,500 salt, grab your you know, your sticky honey and what have you, drop off your creature pellets, because you do want to do that, don't you? Yeah, yeah. And then as soon as you've done that, piss off out of here. Doesn't take long to get here. As I say, this is in the same system as the Cobalt Mine that we've just come from. So yeah, this is a place to really just make a very short stop. If you do hang around for a little bit longer, there's plenty of like trees and minerals and that. So again, ferrite dust, pure ferrite, carbon, it's all easy to get hold of. Okay, off to the next one. And here we are. Now this was the last base that I actually, or the last mine I actually built. So this is Silver Mine 1B. Once again, storing 15,500. And this is the only mine that I built with my own sort of purposes. I basically built this for myself. So much so that I wasn't even going to bother letting anybody know that this place existed. You can use silver if you're making, stasis devices and fusion igniters. It would be better to use gold though. So yeah, if you're visiting these mines with that intention of making, or doing the crafting, go to the gold mine. Don't worry about this one. But silver is used if you are making a freighter base. It uses a shitload of silver, and I freely admit that is the reason why I built this place. So yeah, if you need a lot of silver because you are building a freighter base, then yeah, this place suddenly becomes a lot more useful. So we will expand this one. There you go. Now I am a bit yeah, see, the batteries are still storing stuff, or yeah, they still have capacity. So these extractors, even though the animation isn't going ahead, they are still actually extracting. So this is yeah, this has been expanded to 17,500. Right, base computer is over here. Okay, so even though this was the last mine that I built, it's not the last mine to visit. The next one that we are going to is the last of the mining bases, and it was also the first mining base that I put together. So yeah, onwards and upwards. And here we are at Radon Gas Mine 1A, the only one of my mines that is on A-rated hotspot. And as you can see, it is right in the middle of this sort of this almost, well, certainly wooded area. I was going to say forest area, but yeah, it's a bit too small to be a forest. But it means that, yeah, you've got absolutely no problem finding carbon to go with your radon or indeed any of the other gases you're collecting. So, and pure ferrite. And there is an absolute shitload of ferrite dust available to you on this planet. So, yep, just like all the rest, this is currently storing 15,500. And that is about to be expanded. There we go. So Now, all mines have a storage capacity of 17,500. And like I say, 17,500 is a fucking decent amount. It is certainly possible that I will expand it in the probably in the very near future, actually. But you know, it doesn't mean you're going to miss out. If you come in now and get 17,500, it's not like you're going to be lacking in radon or any of the other resources that are being mined. Now, you'll notice that this place does have a teleporter, just like all the others. This is despite the fact that my main surface base, yeah, that's for this one. Okay, my main surface base is close by. There it is, Dunroamin. And it's only 393 units away, so it's absolutely within walking distance, let alone, you know, flying or using exocraft. And yet I was still asked to put a teleporter here, and for some reason I went ahead and did it. So there you go. This place does have a teleporter, but you really do not need it. Just walk to the nearest base or run to it or whatever. As I say, the nearest base is Dunroamin, which is the main one, and that's where we're heading to next. There we are at the Dunroamin base. Now, it's well, certainly at least two reasons why I built the base where I have. The first is up there, my save beacon, 5 minutes 20 away on foot. It's about 5 seconds if you take your ship, and that is the location of a portal, so you can basically go wherever the fuck you want from there. So that's one reason why I built it. Another is the fact that there is a power hotspot which I am using, which was an S-class hotspot, and so, you know, S-class power hotspot and a nearby portal. This was always going to be the location for my main surface base. So this place has 4 landing pads, and at the done with not falling down there. At the end of the 4th landing pad, there's a load of curious deposits, and if you gather all of the runaway mould from there and refine it, you'll get something in the region of 1,180 nanites, so it's certainly worth doing. In each of the buildings connected to the landing pads, you will find 2 of the storage barrels and 1 storage crate, so there are some items that you can pick up. I will also point out now, although I'm sure you've already seen it, the frames per second at this base take quite a hit. This base is using nearly 8,000 parts, so yeah, it's suffering an awful lot. So again, the barrels and the container there, and the 4th one where there is also an appearance modifier, and again the container and the 2 barrels. Keep going down here and you just find yourself inside this observation point. That was going to be a 5th landing pad, but in the end I decided no. Now this sort of landing area is not connected to the base directly, but as you can see, there is a short range teleporter which takes you here, and this takes you inside the main structure. So there's your teleport terminus. There is your trade terminal. Now that takes you into like the main complex. We'll save that for now. And up on this level we go through here. There are a load of standing planters, so if for whatever reason you didn't get any of the carbon that was available to you at any of the mines, you can still get carbon here. So it's not the end of the world. So head down here, and this takes you to the I guess you'd have to say it's the kitchen. 4 nutrient processors, so even if you're here in a 4-player multiplayer group, there will still be at least 1 nutrient processor available to you. And this takes you outside. We'll do outside in a moment. The other way from the ladder, this takes you to all of the storage containers, all 10 of them. So you know, you've got access to anything that you have stored in your own storage compartments. And then there are 4 refiners. Because of base limitations, I can only have 4, 2 large, 2 mediums. But it does mean that for the most part, again, if you're here in a 4-player multiplayer group, all of you have a refiner each. So this way takes you outside again, this way takes you back and into the where all the planters are for your carbon. I'll just point out this one that is sort of like floating in the air. It's because of the large refiner underneath it. There's nothing I can do about that, so yeah, just just have to get used to it as I am. So I head outside. The place has deliberately been left to resemble like a building site, an unfinished building site. But we are inside this huge, for role-playing instance, I consider it like a very primitive, like almost prehistoric Atlas terminal that had crashed here. So yeah, you got your exocraft summoning station, so I think that works for anyone that comes here. So if you've got you know, your exocrafts, you can call them all in, or any of them in. Ice statues at the entrance. So there is the building that has the terminal. And here you can see the biodomes that contain all of the plant types that you need for stasis device and fusion igniter crafting. These are also kept separate from the rest of the main base. You've got to come outside to enter these. But they are set up so that as you walk in, and you get the option there to harvest all plants, and you can just keep running through them, harvesting everything as you go through. And for the most part there are 3 biodomes with each different plant available. So there's an exit to the outside if you need to go there, through that way. We go through to the next part. Again, there's another exit there, or we can carry on running through all the fungal clusters, fungal mold, to the gamma weed, and to the echinocactus. Now this, I've only got 2 biodomes with echinocactus, because you get double the amount of echinocactus than you do pretty much anything else. So yeah, I figured I could get away with that. It also meant for the final one I could split it half between yeah, the gut rot flowers and the mordite roots. Gut rot flowers I know you do need for stasis device crafting. Here's that one. I don't know about the Mordite one though. I can't remember if you actually need that for crafting or not. I don't think you do. So I could change that. I could, but I'll tell you now, I almost certainly won't. So that leaves one more section then, the main, the main complex here. Most of this is purely decorative for the most part, but yeah, all of my specialists have their terminals here. There's a science one. That is the farmer, and then the overseer is over here. And it's been set up so that this would be my my seating area right in the middle. So I've got, like, you know, I can turn my attention to everybody else as and when they need it. So this next floor, it looks like it's purely decorative and purely there to, you know, look the part. But in fact, there is something here that you can use. The antimatter reactor. Fuel it up with either carbon or condensed carbon, and you'll end up with 20 antimatter in pretty quick time. Actually, it doesn't take long at all for it to create those. This one here is the item based cache thing, which I don't think is going to be any good to anybody other than me. But yeah, there are two interactive items there anyway. So the next floor, you already heard the bite beat device going off. This is sort of, you know, the bar and nightclub area, the recreational area for me and the staff. And next, so we have these are basically the sleeping quarters. So this is for the Viking, the exocraft specialist. This one is for the weapon specialist. And up here, two pokey little bugger-all rooms for the two Gek, you know, the farmer and the overseer. Don't know why that is floating in the air. Well, I'll sort that out later. And then the scientist has his his area where he's currently working on two autophage pieces there, and has the old undead jellyfish thing in his research station. And upstairs to the penthouse area, and that's this would be mine. So yeah, here we have my base here. I'm the one who has two beds. Never know. I might, you know, at some point find some female traveller sort and offer her back to my place. And then out here, I've got a few of these floating around, the heating units from the derelict freighters, and as you can see, they do work. So up the ladder to what is effectively like the loft area, and then we climb up here and it takes us onto the topmost, basically the roof. Don't really know why I've got these red lights up here, because it's not like anything's going to see them flying overhead, and the flags will eventually right, no they won't. But yeah, they're not supposed to be quite so blurry and shitty looking. So that is the Dunroamin base. I think it has a much better layout than the base that I did in my playthrough 5 years ago. you know, it has more functionality and it's not as needlessly spread out. I mean, it is still spread out a bit, but all the important stuff that you need is easily in reach. You haven't got to go, you know, fucking running from one end of the base to the other just to be able to do, you know, a bit of refining or anything. They're all of the refiners are all in one place. So yeah, I am quite pleased with how it turned out. Of course, the main structure here, which took what felt like an age to finish, but finished it is. So the whole thing is completely encased. I'll also just add that yeah, well, I have another automated feeder and livestock unit out here. As you can see, this one gets a lot more use. Trouble is, all I ever get here are crab apples and wild milk, because there's not a great deal of variety as far as the planetary fauna goes. It's about the only thing that I feel the base is lacking. Well, frames per second are lacking a little bit, but yeah. So there we are. The this is the main Dunroamin base. That is the last of the planetary bases, but there is, of course, one more base still to show. So yeah, let's make our way there. So yeah, I'm sure you figured out that the final base is the freighter base, and well, if you've watched any of my live streams, you'll have seen the freighter base, or at least how the freighter base used to look. It has changed just a bit. This one is also the only one that is currently unfinished, but it's so close to being finished that, you know, I can show you it in its current state. So yeah, if you remember the old layout, you will know that as you step out here, you had the teleport here and a trade terminal here. Now they have both disappeared, and instead we just have these corridors which end at stairs. Now, where are they going? Well, you'll find out. Now this next section was going to be like a simulated airlock, but I changed my mind and just shoved a few more items in there. But the reason for it being a simulated airlock is because once you go through here, we are in a large open courtyard like area, and we can see all of my frigates up overhead. And this courtyard is surrounded by three main building blocks. There are actually 7, I mean, I'll say buildings here. They are separate buildings, so yeah, I suppose, yeah, building's the only word you can really use to describe them. But from where we are, you can only really see the 3 main ones. The other 4 are much smaller, and obviously we'll cover those. There's not, I can't really get away from it. It does look a bit like a sort of East London housing estate, but it's not quite so dodgy. So the 3 main areas then are there's the technological and industrial area, there's the agricultural area, and then there's the recreational area, which is it has like a museum showing, like, you know, various items that I've collected, and there's also a garden area, and unsurprisingly that's the area that's unfinished. So in the courtyard here, we have these large holograms, information terminals, And of course, as you walk past them, yeah, you can't see them this way. Rather than seeing them all backwards, you just don't see them at all. Each of the buildings has the large like neon signs on both sides of them. And yeah, all of the buildings are connected. You can see there's this long gangway that takes you from, you know, the first floor of this side up to the first floor on the other side there. I have this decorative centerpiece with yeah, various plants and what have you. And you can also see the various stairways, which will all, again, all lead you to various. If you want like direct access of like various floors, yeah, you can do it without having to run through the whole buildings. As far as the exterior stairs and that are concerned, everything is exactly mirrored. So what you see on this side is what you see on the other side there. So that takes you through to within that part of the that building. Obviously we'll cover that. And here, those are the stairs that you saw as we entered. And then to this way, yeah, like I say, exactly mirrored on the other side as well, with the entrance to the top floor of this block here. So this is the technological and industrial block. So here we have the fleet command stations. Now I've got 6 of them because I read somewhere that you can have 6, and I kept thinking, well, what's the point? You can only ever have 5 expeditions on the go anyway. So I thought, well, if I put a 6th one, maybe a 6th one will appear. No, it doesn't. So the 6th one is pure decoration. It doesn't actually do anything. Shame, but there you go. So here we have yeah, the planetary probe. We have the trade terminal, and this is where the teleporter is. There is also direct access to the exocraft summoning station. Go back into the main corridor, and this door here, which, yeah, was the entrance to the appearance modifier. And here we have the specialist terminals that are related to this section. So yeah, that's the overseer. The science one was there, and then we have the 10 storage areas. And that's everything that's downstairs. Upstairs is where all the industrial stuff is, including, yes, 24 large refiners. So even if you are here in a multiplayer group of 4, you each have 6 refiners available to you, which I'm sure you can make use of. And then over here are the stellar extractor cores, 8 of them, which make an interminable racket, and but sometimes they do actually work. And then here, yeah, we have the weapons terminal, and then this one here is the exocraft terminal. And that's everything upstairs. So here we have, yeah, this is the upstairs exit, which takes us out. This is by, that's the large block there. If we were to use the upstairs exit on this side, yeah, that takes us to the area that I already showed you with those, yeah, these being the covered stairs back to the main entrance. And then on this side, yeah, this is the doorway to the gangway that takes you right the way across the yeah, right the way across the courtyard. So that's the technological and industrial block. Again, the info panels, which then disappear. I do quite like how that works. So then we come to the largest block. This is the agricultural one. Now I've scattered various nutrient processors on all floors, so that way it doesn't matter what floor you're on. If you've got, like, you know, you picked up the ingredients you need from here, then, you know, you can use a nutrient processor almost straight away, because there is always going to be one like quite close to you. So on this floor, the ground floor, you may have noticed, and this was purely decorative, it serves no practical purpose. In fact, the only purpose it serves is reducing the amount of space I have on the ground floor. But yeah, these sections are actually all sunk in, held up by these pillars, with the entrance, yeah, thrust forward a bit. But yeah, so this ground floor, then we have plenty of star brambles, which we need, because you only get from each 4 block here, you only get 100 star brambles, whereas normally with the plants you get 200 from each 4 block. We then have 1 row of mortite roots. You only really need the 1. Likewise with the gut rot plants, 1 row of them. That is it. Up to level 2. So here, this entire section is filled with gamma weed, while this entire section is filled with fungal cluster. And you will note at the end there is the door which takes you back outside, and this is where, yeah, that upstairs door from the industrial section that I briefly showed leads you out here. And again, more nutrient processors all scattered around. So this floor is a little bit of a mess. We have 2 complete rows of the solar vines. We have this whole section here, including this complete row of the frostwork. And then we have 2 complete rows of echinocactus. Again, because echinocactus you get double the amount of normal, I figured I could get away with not planting quite so many. You can see there is still plenty of them, but yeah, not quite as many as everything else. And again, more nutrient processors available. Up onto the next floor. Oh look, more nutrient processors. This is like an overflow room, so as my needs dictate, this is where you know, these will be the plants that are grown. So at the moment it's 2 more rows of the solar vines and 3 more rows of star brambles, along as you know, along with this small single section here. And then up to the final floor. This is the dodgy floor. This is the drug growing floor. So we have 2 complete rows of nip buds, and again plenty of nutrient processors. So because this floor is only growing nip buds, I figured, you know, it didn't need to be the same size as all the rest. So front to back it's the same size, but obviously, you know, there's only 3 across as opposed to the 5 or the 7. It didn't need any more than that. So yeah, now with the exception of that topmost floor, the dodgy floor, all of the floors are connected outside, and then this takes us to, yeah, the mirror of the entrance to, you know, that you saw on the other side there for the industrial and technological section. So one thing is for sure, the agricultural section certainly has a lot of plants. I'm growing a lot of stuff. So then the third and final of the main blocks is this one, which is, say, the recreational block. So this ground floor here is like my museum of collected items. Obviously includes all the you know, all 11 of the glitches that you can get from the anomalous planets, and various items that you get from you know, you buy with Quicksilver, or you get from expeditions, and you know, and all of that business. And as you can also see, I have not yet filled it. I've still got space for quite a few others. Now, I do like the old the mini aquarium here, but I am more than slightly pleased with what I've done here. I've managed to expand it and turn it into a much larger aquarium. I do think that looks pretty good, pretty effective, even if I do say so myself. So that's the yeah, that is the museum, and upstairs, this is the unfinished area, is the garden. Now, I've set myself quite a task here. My intention is to completely cover the floor. And yeah, you can see I have a long way to go. What doesn't help is that I don't have very many of the plants unlocked yet. If I show you what I have. So yeah, I have the frozen planter, the mud hut, I'm not going to be putting up here, urchin flowers, short spike grass, detoxified slime, and the orange pustule I won't be putting here, spindle trees, the dwarf palm, and yeah, the crystallized dome one. It's just going to be plants. So yeah, at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I can put up here, and obviously it's nowhere near enough. But that is going to take some finishing, and I am going through carbon like you would not believe here. The lowest amount of carbon that any of these things uses is 40. So you can see this is going to be using up a huge amount of carbon. Thankfully it's easy to get. Something else I forgot to mention actually when I was in the agricultural block, because you can get the carbon from all the planters that are on the walls there. If you take all the carbon from each floor, you will come out of there with just over 11,000. So you know, it's not like I've got to go anywhere to get the carbon needed to put all this down, but obviously it is still going to be very time consuming. So here is the entrance, or the exit to the walkway there to take you straight to the industrial and technological section. This way takes you to the side entrance or directly into the directly into there, directly into the agricultural section. And then obviously here, I think we've already been here. Yeah, takes you to the covered stairs back to the start. So that is the main sort of courtyard area of this base. But I did say there are 7 buildings. I've only shown you 3. And I dare say you have spotted on several occasions that there is another set of stairs here that take you up. Well, this takes you to the upper walkway, which goes right the way around the perimeter until you get to the agricultural block, because there you do actually have to walk through to get to the connecting area. In fact, I'll show you. So there you go, and that is the entrance that I think you saw me use when I then went straight back down to the ground level. So this upper walkway is where the 4 small buildings are, and these are for people who are rather antisocial, shall we say. So you walk in here and it's basically like your own private area. So you have a refiner to yourself, you have a nutrient processor to yourself, and you even have an appearance modifier to yourself. I might even get rid of this one of these 3 blank rooms here and put in your own trade terminal. So yeah, of course it's a big if, this place was so busy and you wanted to you just wanted somewhere to be like on your own, then you could head up here and do pretty much everything you need to do, say including the trade terminal when it's added. I'm pretty sure I will add it. It kind of makes sense to have one. So yeah, you've got everything there in one room to yourself if you're feeling antisocial, which I frequently do. So we'll go around to the other side. Now I did think about having like a final building right here in the middle and up another level, but I figured no, there was no point. For one thing, I didn't know what to put in it, so yep, you all know the layout. And then the final one, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, this one you've got all the racket from the core extractors still going on. So yeah, I pity anyone who's stuck with having to use that building. But that is the that is the freighter base then. At the risk of sounding like I'm a bit full of myself, I am well fucking pleased with how this has turned out. I did not think it would be anything like as good as it has, as good as it has been so far. Like I say, it's almost done. It is just the garden part that I need to finish, because it's tempting to keep adding stuff here in the main courtyard, but at some point it's going to end up getting too cluttered and there's going to be too much stuff here. The only thing that I'm still considering adding is along these sections where the railings are, adding either additional lighting or adding some like plants around here just to like cover it up so it doesn't look quite so, you know, like boring and metallic. And there's not a hell of a lot of like railings apart from like the upstairs gangways and that, but I don't think there's much point in decorating like these gangway parts here, just the parts that are downstairs around the edge of the main courtyard. So yeah, I don't know about putting that on or not. I mean, if any of you watching this crap has any ideas with regards to doing anything for these parts here, which of course can include leave it alone, you know, then by all means drop a comment at the end. And speaking of the end, that is it. That is the guided tour. That is all 11 of my bases. Wasn't that fun? So that is very much a good time for me to say go away.